Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to make a Happy Mother's Day card, and also I'm going to show you an alternative that just says "Oh Hello" with a different stamp from the same stamp set. I know it's a little bit early for Mother's Day, but I needed to get going on some of things and I wanted to try out this frame and whole bunch of reasons why it ended up being this way. But I did make an alternative with another saying. And on the inside it says, "You're always so good to others, be good to yourself too." So the stamp set that this comes from is called In the Moment. And I'm sorry for the shine. In the Moment. It is in the annual catalog. I've used it a couple times. I used her in a watercolor wash. Can't remember what the title of it was. But if you do the tags In the Moment, you probably will find it. And I used this phrase here for the inside. On the outside, I used Celebrating You, which is a really good set for all kinds of different things. There's the Happy Mother's Day here, Happy Easter, which I will probably use that, but with a different set on the front. It's got anniversary. It's got a lot of good little phrases on it, but I used the Happy Mother's Day. And then for the Oh Hello card, which I'll show you in a moment, I used this stamp set called Lovely and Lasting, and it says Oh Hello. All right, so let me show you the pieces parts. If you want to visit my blog, if you're seeing me on YouTube, the link will be below, but it's stampmesilly.com. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to get a free catalog, you can email me or with questions, either leaving me down, if you're on YouTube, down below, or emailing me at jandufour@yahoo.com. And then if you do want to purchase anything, along with the links that will be below this posting on YouTube and the posting in my blog, or you can go directly to my store, which is jandufour.stampinup.net. It's the 3rd of February. But unfortunately, this won't get posted until March, so celebration will be over. But there are new exclusive postings in our store starting March 1st that are not in the catalog. They'll never be in the catalog, but they are available. So you'll want to check that out, and it would be at jandufour.stampinup.net/exclusives. All right, let's get on to the card. The die set that I used is called Desert of Details, and it's 2 different ones. They fit within each other, obviously. The inside one is what I did the stamp on, and then the outside one I did for the outside, and I did elevate this one. All right, so just to save some time, because we all pretty much should know how to use a embossing machine, and if not, I plan in the month of March to do some simple stamping, simple embossing and cutting with die cuts, just different tips and tricks for the different pieces of equipment that we use when we're doing stamping. I am going to show you again, because a lot of people I guess they just don't either see it in other people's posts. I use my Stamparatus a lot, and I apologize. I know there's that ring of light. I got new lighting, and it's not working out real good for me. So anything that's shiny doesn't work. But anyway, I do want to show you the Stamparatus, because when they first came out with it, the whole purpose of it was so that you could stamp once, and if it didn't stamp right, you could stamp it again. But I use it for so much more. I use it for positioning. I use it for, if I wanted to do this and then move it down and stamp, and then move it down and stamp, you have these repeats that are perfectly positioned every single time. If I want to make sure that my saying is straight, that's another reason. But I will also do tips and tricks on this too. But for now, I just wanted to show you that I did position both stamps, both the woman and the Happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to go ahead and put this here. I always put a stamp set underneath when I'm inking, This is just going right in the corner. I will tell you a trick that is not recommended. It's not recommended. I don't know how to say that. It's not the standard. When you're using red rubber, they generally tell you to take the foam piece out. I leave it in there. As long as the stamps are trimmed well and you haven't overstamped it and gotten ink everywhere, it's particularly helpful when I'm putting something up in the corner. Instead of trying to align it here and make sure every time it's in the right spot, I could make a template, a bigger piece with this in the center and then place it in the same place every time. But if I'm only making a few cards, I put things up in the corner. And because I have the foam in here, the corner will stamp. So let me go ahead and ink this up good. So that's just a FYI. I want to say I almost never take that out. Now, granted, I don't push a lot here because I don't need to. Push on the outside, and there's a lovely stamp. So that's just a tip of the way I do it. So let's get rid of this. I have shown how to color with blending pens before. I'm going to go ahead and just show you a couple of tips. I'm not going to color the whole thing in just for time's sake, but I did want to show you a couple of things. I've said this before. Some people start with the light and then go to dark. Some go dark and then light. These are alcohol inks, so they will blend. And if you start off with the dark and put the light on it, it should lighten up somewhat. We also have a blending pen remover, which will lift some of the ink off. So if you started with the dark and it's just too dark and you don't want it that dark, you run this over it, let it dry a little bit, it'll lift some of the ink, do it again. You don't want to pill the paper, but you can let it dry in between. It's very quick because it's alcohol, and then do this and you will lift a lot of ink. So keep that in mind. I tend to do the light first. And again, I'm not coloring the whole thing. I just wanted to give you some tips. The nice thing about alcohol inks is that it doesn't matter if you go up and down and then sideways, because after a second or two, it all blends in. So you should see, if you were coloring with crayons or pastels or colored inks or watercolor pencils, you would see me change directions. That would not blend together. But with alcohol inks, it does. The other trick is, if I don't want this to get a lot darker, I'll show you here. And as you can see, I'm just putting some colors, same color, over the top of what I've already colored. And as you can see, it's made it darker. I can also use the darker one. They come in sets now, light and dark. I can go ahead and put this in here, and it's obviously a lot darker. You may feel like, oh, that just looks terrible. Give it a second. It's going to spread into the paper. Be careful what you have underneath. It does blend through, and if you blend particularly, it will go through the paper. As you can see, it's already blended in, but if I wanted to blend it a little bit more, I could do just the very same thing with the lighter ink. I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and that will eventually just blend right in. So I went ahead and I colored it, and I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to do that now because you're capable of doing that, but we're going to cover this. And what I found was, let me put this out of the way. I picked two pieces of DSP from Hues of Happiness. Let me show you. They have beautiful paper. I'm not particularly a flower girl, but I am finding Stampin' Up! Flowers, for the most part, I really enjoy. You'll see this one in a previous one, and I'll link that below as well. The die cuts actually cut out these flowers, so you don't even need to stamp them if you don't want to. A lot of them go from one, this came from here because I couldn't put all of this through my die machine. You'll notice there's also leaves that are cut out there, but they go from a range of colors, as does this, for example. There's purples and blues and yellows and pinks and then more yellow. So I wanted to show you how I cut this. And then on the back, let me flip them all over. You have various watercolory looking sheets and smaller prints. That's another one. It's very similar to the one I'm using, but it's not the same one. But more general, I guess, is what I want to say. But I wanted to show you what I did. You can actually come up with 6 or 7 if you want a piece on the 7th one. An important way to cut these. So I'll show you. For the flowers, now you could have cut, of course this is 12 by 12, you could cut and get all the same colors, or you can cut them this way and get multiple colors. The way I did it was to cut it, let me see, what's the measurement on this? I can tell you, and now I forget which way I cut it. It would work no matter what you did. So there's 8, so I've already taken it off. So I did in fact cut it this way. These are 1-inch strips. So I cut 1 inch, and I did not leave a border on this particular one. So that meant I chose 5.5. And you can kind of look at what colors, whoops, I'm almost out of screen. What colors you're getting, like, do I want more purples, more yellows? Do I want to cut off, you know, the top of this one and take a little bit less? You have some size to play with because, like I said, it's at 5.5. So I'll go ahead and cut the 1-inch strip. And of course, you get another 5.5. I'll go ahead and cut that now. I think I'm going to cut off the purple because there's no other purple anywhere else. Although it would be fine if it was on there. But I'll get rid of that. And if you make enough of them, these little squares can do really amazing things on a card. All right, so we're keeping the one with the majority of the purple. And then as far as cutting these go, you can, I would say the first thing you should do is cut it at 5.5 across. Because again, we're filling up the entire card. And I'm going to cut 5.5 again. And that leaves you with this strip, which is what I played with to make the 7th card. But I'll put that aside for now. All right, so I have all of these colors, and I want this to be, where's my card, my playing card. Oh, there it is, hiding. So I want the colorful stuff to go across this way, realizing that each one is going to be a little bit different. And you have to make the choices that you want. Since I'm choosing Gorgeous Grape, I'm going to keep some of this color on it. And the measurement that you want to cut up is, again, 5.5. And the cut is 3. Where did it go? For some reason, I don't have it written down. That was silly. 3.25, that's what I thought. All right, so we put this on 3.25, and that's why you can get just 3 of them, because it's 12 inches, so I'd be an inch short. I'm going to go ahead and just, and you can always look at it and go, well, I do want less yellow on this one, so I'm going to cut that. And then maybe on this one, I don't want any yellow or as much yellow. So I can do it, I can get rid of some of the yellow by cutting this. So instead of having mostly yellow, I just have the pinks and reds and a little bit of yellow. And then again, I use this piece to piece my 7th one. So we're gonna do the one with Gorgeous Grape. It also has Pool Party, and then it's smeared together. That's what you get. So you take your card, and what I did was I put, I'm having a hard time picking these up. I just had my nails done and there's like really close. So I don't have any nails to pick things up with. So we're going to go ahead and also have a new glue. Okay. Make sure I'm going in the right direction. Put the flowers in the right direction. I start down at the bottom and I hold it, and I love the glue because you can move it around. Press it down a little bit. And then this is another choice, you know, do I want the blue over there? Would I prefer the purple going out to this? When you do it this way, you have, that's my lick. You have less of the purple showing along this side. I have the blue showing instead. And I like them both, but I think because of the way I colored this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and change it and put the purple more on the inside. Of course, you could also use these colors. It's nice when you can put DSPs together. It's not something I did much of. A lot of times I would just use one side of the DSP for whatever reason. Not for fear or anything. I guess I just didn't think about it. And then I will put this under this just so that it can dry more quickly with some even pressure on it. I will then take this, and even though it's not finished coloring, I can color it and put this on there now. It won't bother it. I can color it later. And then I will show you all the ones that I made. And I did experiment a little bit. That's my opportunity. It's the reason I make multiples, or one of the reasons. I'm going to go to all the trouble to get my supplies out. I might as well go ahead and make up as many cards as I can. And also I experiment, so not every card necessarily looks identical to the one that I have previously made. So then we've just, this one I went ahead and used dimensionals. And I do use a lot of dimensionals, mostly because I don't like a saggy card. Oops. You can also use, I made one where I used the strips, which work out well as also. Oops, one stuck down, it lifted up. Get rid of, I find these everywhere in my house. They stick to my clothes and they end up in the bathroom, and my husband will say, "What is this?" He knows now, but you know how that is. All right, so I got them all off. This one's kind of easy to hold because there's no glue on this part. So I can just center it top to bottom and left to right. Again, I will finish coloring that one. But if you want to see what it looks like when it's finished, you can look at this one. And then I did some colorways. So all of the colors that are in here, what you have is like Highland Heather, Pool Party, soft, well, there's no soft suede, that's just her hair. Petal Pink, Crushed Curry, I'm not sure. I think that's the major ones anyway. So these are all Mother's Day. Yes, I don't have a mother anymore. She's gone to visit heaven. But I do have daughter-in-laws and other acquaintances who are mothers. So I went ahead, see, these two are both Pool Party, colored them a little bit differently, highlighting different parts of it, but the background's even the same. So those are the Mother's Day. The little gems that I put on here come from Glossy Dots assortment, and it matches perfectly. It's part of Hues of Happiness suite. You don't have to order the whole suite. The only deal you get in a suite is the fact that the stamps and the dies/punches are bundled together, and you get 10% off. Everything else is normally priced. So say you already had the stamp set you're not going to get a deal on anything else. So you don't have to buy the suite to get whatever it is you're looking for. I guess is the best way to explain it. Anyway, so those are my Happy Mother's Day ones. Let me show you. All I did was turn it sideways for another stamp from the same set. She's snuggling with her puppy dog in a cozy blanket, and it says, "Oh, hello." And again, that's just simply turning it sideways. I mean, I put this part on the same way here. You can see my piecing to get the last up uses of this and a set of flowers and another striped piece. So I ended up with 7 of the cards out of the 2 pieces. And of course, I still have lots of this one left because you only use it, I think I used 4 pieces, 4 inches off of it. So lots of cards to be had. So again, this one's "Oh, hello," but it's got the same vibe going. So you could use this for just, "Hey, how you doing?" I made her sock stripe. I thought those were cute. All right. If you have any questions, again, please leave me a comment down below. I always check those out. Send me an email to jandufour@yahoo.com. Visit my blog at stampmesilly.com. You can subscribe either at YouTube or at the blog. I only post once a week on Wednesdays unless there's a flash sale for free shipping. Then I will send something else out. Each of the YouTube and the blog both have links to the actual things that I used. But you can go to my general store, jandufour.stampinup.net, and you can look at the online catalog. It will have the exclusives starting March 1st, but it will have other opportunities. Stampin' Up! Is going to begin about every 2 months, adding things that are not in the catalog that you can only get if you go online. Of course, you can go online, look at it, and send me an email, and I can order it for you. But you know what I'm saying? It's not ever going to appear in a catalog. That way they can change their products more often, give you a higher variety. I think it's an exciting way. They're moving with the future, and it's a great time. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks. Bye.